the Police Minister, Bheki is addressing members of the media outside the Ellis Magistrates Court.
Attempted murder to Professor Vithal, attempted murder to Nozugu Mabombo, and an additional charge of fraud and corruption. Sikelo Mbulawa facing 2 charges, murder and fraud and corruption. Wanini Kuza, murder and fraud and corruption. And Mtobisi Kanyile and Mtobisi Dlamini Ozondo facing the same 6 charges like Bogani Peter, but addition is the possession of firearms and ammunition. So those are the people that appear this morning. As the minister said, we still have got those that we are looking for. It's not the end. There are still those that we are going to arrest, in addition to those that appeared here today.
How many? How many
5.
are you looking for?
No, the number we are looking for will update you as we go along. It's quite, it's more than 1, so we'll update you as we go along.
Can you take us through
Wait,
these arrests?
There's some bit of order. General, thank you for that information. We are going to be opening up to some questions, so you'll have plenty of opportunity to ask that. And I also want to indicate that Professor Buhlungu will also be making a statement, but let's just take some of your questions for the Minister as well as the National Commissioner, and then we'll also just give the Professor a chance to also say a word or two. You can start, and then we'll go with ENCF. Go ahead, Randy.
Okay, thanks so much. Can you, Police Commissioner, can you please take us through the arrest? Where were these suspects nabbed, and how? When, where, and how? And to the police minister, I just want to know what is he planning to do about the fact that we've seen that there are people from KZN, and some of the hitmen are from the KZN, and we are noticing this trend of people from KZN, and sort of the province is a province of choice for people who need people to kill. In other words, to contract people to kill. You know, so what are you going to do about that as well?
Please remind us, who do you work with?
Oh, sorry, News 24,
I have contracted nobody. So don't ask me why they are special. Ask those that are contracting them why they contract those people from KZN. You think because I come from there, I have some contract? I have no contract at all.
No, Minister. I just want to know, have you noticed this trend and whether you are planning to do something about it?
I've said it time and again. That is worrying, that wherever you go, whether it's here in Eastern Cape, whether it's in Cape Town, when I arrested somebody in the roadblock in KZN who was destined for Western Cape, whether you are in Gauteng, where people have been, where the lady was killed, the health in Tembisa, people from there is worrying. But maybe those that are given contracts, they can tell us why do they find these capable people from that kind of province. But for us, it's not the issue of where do we find them. For us, it's the issue of arresting all suspects and all those that are criminals. It doesn't matter what part of the world they come from.
General, there was a question around the nature of arrests, who, where, and how.
Yeah, the 2 of the suspects, as it is said, they are from KwaZulu-Natal, and the rest of the 3 are from here at Eastern Cape. We arrested them over the weekend, over the long weekend, hence they are appearing today. Where we arrested them, as I said, the 2 are not from this province. We arrested them outside KZN. The rest we arrested them here, and all over the long weekend.
All right.
Ronald.
Okay, go ahead, Lisa.
Ronald Masinga, ENCA. Minister, probably a question for you or the police commissioner, but am I correct in assuming that some of the people arrested have direct links to the university? Did they work there previously?
Yes, it is so.
What capacity, Minister?
Well, they work for university. What capacity, I would not be explaining that, but they're not very junior people that were working there. Maybe those that Others will explain exactly. But they were not sweeping, they were not cleaning the floors. People that would be on the area of influence. That I went there.
All right, there's a follow-up over here.
Just a clarity there, Commissioner, just on how the arrest was made. Was there, a specific roadblock? Was there something set up for them? I think that's what we're really looking for. How were they apprehended? Like, where, in what manner? Not, you don't have to have details, but just kind of like an outline.
Yeah, look, we did investigation, and we found them at various places, not a roadblock, but as we were doing investigation, we went where they were. And some of them was not an easy to get. We have been hunting them for quite some time, but we eventually were able to get them.
All right, let's take the last round of questions, colleagues. I've got two hands. Just get fresh hands. Go ahead.
Minister, okay, I'm Sidima from the SABC. We've seen how cases of this nature take so long before arrests are made, or for the families that are involved here, the school, the university, the vice chancellor, that it's not going to take as long as most of the cases have.
Well, the case seems to be sophisticated, but the police have done the work. The team tells us that the case is solid. We are briefed. We believe the team has done a good job. I heard the magistrate or the presiding officer saying it's a premeditated Schedule 6. That is something serious. You can't just go over it the next day and all that. But how long it will take and all that, maybe that's a question of the next segment of this trial, which is prosecution and all that. But from the side of the police, we believe we have done a good job.
All right, we've just taken the last one there.
The attorney of accused number 4 made claims that police in Cambridge police station tortured his client. What can you tell us about that?
That is for the court to determine. That is for the court. That is for the court to determine. How, if it is police determined, how do we know he was tortured? Was he tortured?
The attorney made those claims.
That's an allegation. Is for the court to determine that.
Loud and clear, Minister, Generals. Now it's time for the VC to give us he will, and my colleague JP will facilitate this engagement with you.
Yeah. Sources have indicated that.
Just in front of Commissioner. Yes.
Right. So I suppose I should just say very briefly that I and we, my executive, my members of staff, are very relieved, are very happy that these arrests have happened. It's been a long time. Some of you will remember that when they happened, especially after the murder of Mr. Vesely, I begged the minister to take a week to grab these people. The minister, we spoke afterwards, and I, of course, being realistic, I knew that it couldn't happen in a week. These things are difficult. One of the lessons I've learned in this process is that investigations require patience on our part. And we've been very patient. I just want to make a few things very important here. When Mr. Roots was murdered, I said, I shall not allow that case to die. I shall not allow that case to die. When Mr. Vesely was killed, I said the same thing. And I'm very pleased that, one, we got a positive response from the president. We did a phone call. President assured me that he was going to send ministers and the top brass of the police services here, which he did. And so from then onwards, we had a meeting with Minister Tele and with the National Commissioner and others, and the process started. What assured me was an undertaking by the Commissioner and the Minister that a task team had been set up. And during this time, between that time and now, and I've said this before, we have seen the task team on the ground. But of course, I was not going to tell you in the media, but I've seen them hard at work. And I just want to say in the presence of the Minister and the presence of the National Commissioner that we are very appreciative of the efforts and also of the professionalism of the task team. That I can vouch for. I've seen them. And I'm also very certain now that after these 5, more are going to come. More are going to come. It cannot be that these people here did not have aiders and abettors in performing all these activities. There are others. Now, there was a question earlier about some people connected to the university. Let me clarify it very clear. It's no secret. Mr. Bongani Peter, he was mentioned now. He was the fleet officer at Fort Hare. He's on suspension for corruption, but then he's been also held for this murder. In fact, for both murders. I think the police have made that point. So he worked for the university. That's very clear. And for us, it is a shame that one of our own, who gets paid by the university, who has a job, who has responsibility, not only has he been stealing, siphoning money from the fleet department, but also he has been planning the murder of some of us. That's one. The second person who was connected to the university, again very important, is Mr. Kuza? Mr. Kuza. Mr. Kuza retired from the university about 4 years ago. And as a matter of fact, I'll say this, just to kind of spice things up. He was someone that was well respected. So on the day before his retirement, I invited him to have tea in my office, just to chat. You know, an employee, respectable person. We sat and we chatted and so on. Unbeknown to me, he was brought back by Mr. Peter. About a month later, he was brought back. And he carried on. While Mr. Roots was killed, he was already back. And we trusted him so much that he was the only person privileged to drive the Chancellor of the university back and forth, airport, hotel, to graduation. That's how we trusted him. But on the day Mr. Roots died, he played sick. He didn't come to work. And unbeknown to us, but now we know that he was busy planning the murder of Mr. Roots. And that's the second person. The other person, Mr. Mulawa, is connected in a different way. A former student of the university, runs a motor repair shop behind the university. What was happening then, he was getting business from Mr. Peter. He was getting business from Mr. Peter. And therefore, anything, when there were blockages, that's when you got things like this. And I think it's very, very, very important to understand, and I've made this point also, that the modus operandi of the people who kill at Fort Hare is twofold. On the one hand, they shoot. On the other hand, they do smears. They do a smear campaign. We've walked through years and years of smears. And interestingly, in December, one of the smear campaigns letters had Mr. Vesely's name in it. And so we are here now. We're very pleased with this. I said to the minister, we want to see something. And I said jokingly this morning to the minister, we're very happy, but whatever it is that you're giving to us, we want seconds. We'll come back for seconds. If it's the pudding that I was talking about, that's we're having this morning, and we want seconds. We're going to come back for seconds. In other words, there's a whole bunch of other people, aiders and abettors of the murder at Fort Hare. And as I said once again, we shall not rest until these people are locked up. Until these people are locked up. The justice system, this is a test for them. This is a major test for them. If they let these people off, then that will be it. It will be an indicator that we're down on a slippery slope. It's very clear. It's very clear. These people, they are involved, they planned, and so on and so forth. And so we look forward to seeing them sit behind bars for a very, very long time. And once again, thanks to the team, Minister Kele, Commissioner, the team that you dispatched. They are here. We're very pleased to be working with them. We value their professionalism, and we think that this is not the end, but the beginning. Thank you very much.